Let me ask you a question. Are you ever sitting somewhere, a restaurant, maybe an outside cafe, maybe you're walking in the mall, and you're looking at people who are clearly successful? Or maybe you're reading a magazine article about another business, or maybe you're walking into or past an office or a business and you realize how successful they are. And while it all looks great and it all looks fun and it all looks fine, you have this little voice in your head that's saying, why is that idiot so successful and I'm not? After all, you know more than them, you work harder than them, and you've been doing it longer. Are you feeling frustrated when it comes to having a more successful business? And are your struggles dealing with the envy of those who've achieved greater levels of success than you have? Do you feel abandoned? Do you feel frustrated, even angry about your progress? What if I told you that several clients of mine who are watching this very video you're watching right now are learning the importance of building brand value and building a brand that works around the clock 24/7, 365, simply by leveraging the power of one new and revolutionary technique that allows them to unlock their full potential and reach their full profitability? It's a unique approach to making products and services more valuable that's turning struggling entrepreneurs into inspiring success stories. Listen, I get it if this sounds too good to be true, and it's only normal to feel skeptical. But let me ask you this. Would hearing more about this new method interest you if I virtually guaranteed it would save you months, even years, of continued heartache and disappointment? Keep watching and you'll see exactly how they're pulling it off and how you can too. Plus, I'll reveal the real reason why some of the more popular branding and marketing approaches leave you worse off than where they found you. It's a reason very few experts talk about, yet it's one that every serious entrepreneur must get in order to succeed. But let me give you a little word of warning. The odds are against you unless you totally understand this. You see, I'm the furthest thing from a pessimist, but the numbers don't lie. Are you aware that even though these two cars perform in almost identical ways, Honda only sold 255,000 Civic hybrids, while Toyota's Prius sold 750,000 cars, actually 853,000? You see, the little prosaic Honda merely told onlookers that the owner was driving a cheap car, but the Toyota, which looked like nothing else on the road, said of its driver, "I'm socially and environmentally conscious." Why do you think so many celebrities who could drive anything they wanted drove Priuses? You see, the brand sold the car. A survey conducted by J.D. Power and Associates found that 56% of all sport utility vehicles never even leave the pavement, and only 5% go off-road with any regularity. If you knew this, would you sell Jeeps solely by spending your marketing dollars proving the car's off-road superiority? I mean, would you? So why do you spend your dollars proving why your products work better? You see, people buy the aspirational brand, not what it can actually accomplish or what they'll do with it. And as frightening as it may sound, despite the fact that Bell Atlantic's sales were 50% greater and its profits double that of Disney, the entertainment company's market value was $2 billion more than the communications giant. Today, Airbnb is worth more than the largest hotel company, and they don't own a single hotel. Uber is worth more than General Motors, and they don't own a single car. But that's what building brand value is all about. If you don't understand these numbers, it doesn't bode well for you, and you are absolutely in need of an edge, a way of approaching things that helps you avoid becoming just another one of these numbers inside a nightmare statistic. So why should you listen to me? Well, in case you don't know, my name is Bruce Turkel. I run a leading ad agency for the last 30 years, and I used my unique combination of creativity and marketing knowledge to change perceptions of my clients' businesses and make their brands more valuable. I don't change what they do. I change what their customers think about what they do. I'm the guy who recreated the Miami brand and grew it into one of the top tourist destinations in the world. I created remarkably effective campaigns for American Express, Miami, Discovery Networks, Puerto Rico, Bacardi, and many, many more. You might have seen me on TV. I'm a regular contributor on Fox Business, on CNN, on MSNBC, and CCTV, that's Chinese television. And I've been featured in Fast Company magazine, the New York Times, Communication Arts, Fortune, and Adweek. I've written 5 books on branding, and my latest, All About Them, was chosen by Forbes as one of their top 10 business books of 2016. However, not too long ago, I was in your exact situation. I was in your shoes. Believe me, I was a long way from understanding why building brand value is so significant to success or getting paid well for all the blood, sweat, and tears and years of hard work that you've invested in your business. Now, what you're about to hear is raw and unfiltered, and it ain't all wine and roses, let me warn you. It is safe for work, but it's uncensored in the honesty department. You see, I don't believe in sugarcoating the truth, but I do believe that the lessons I learned along the way will save you months, maybe years of frustration. Because like you, I ran a small business and was constantly frustrated to see my competition getting the best clients and the best business that I should have been handling. At the same time, I was convinced that the firms that did the best work got the best business. It took me years of paying my dues and paying attention to understand just how wrong I really was. That's how I started though, but now, today I'm living a life that is fulfilled in ways I never dreamed possible. It turned around for me once I discovered and started using what I'm going to share with you today. You see, this is what you really want. I mean, let's be honest. You want to achieve your dream of having a successful business that supports your ideal lifestyle, not anyone else's, but yours. You may also want to build a business that works around the clock 24/7, and perhaps even get paid more of what you're worth as well. And if you're anything like me, you want to do all of this faster, with the skill of a real professional, with greater ease, with a real sense of style, all while you grow in every area of your life. However, let's face it, the stakes are higher than you think. Now, because I've already learned the importance of building brand value, I am beyond confident that the tips I'll share with you today will give you new hope and spectacular success when it comes to making more money in your business. And that by taking action, simply taking action, you can realize many of your dreams of real financial freedom. However, just know this, there are serious consequences for not taking action. Besides continuing on whatever rut you're in currently, you could lose everything you've worked for overnight. Now that's the worst case scenario, of course, but I've seen it happen more than I care to remember. And since neither of us wants that to happen to you, let's get you moving in the right direction. I'm going to share with you what happened in my life after applying what you're about to discover. First, let me tell you how my story happened. I remember the day when everything changed for me, my road to Damascus moment. My first book, Brain Darts, had just been released, and I was invited to speak at an important design conference, along with a very famous designer whose book was newly released as well. When I got to the book signing, I discovered a long line of people waiting to buy books, but I also discovered that they were not in my line. They were waiting to purchase his book. Nobody wanted mine. What was most interesting was that this conference was the release of both books, and they were both wrapped in plastic, so no one even knew what was inside either one of them. But his book sold out, and mine didn't sell at all. That disastrous morning was the beginning of my search to figure out where business success comes from. Because I wanted to earn the money that it could make, but I never wanted to feel that way again. Thanks to this journey, I discovered the powerful secret of building brand value. I learned about the 3 mistakes we all make, the 7 critical points to building a brand, and the counterintuitive truth every one of us must understand in order to succeed. So believe me when I tell you, there's a lot of hope for you. Now let me ask you something. What would your life look like if I could help you erase your biggest challenges? Would you enjoy the reassurance and calmness of knowing that your brand was working for you, not against you? That more people were paying more money for your products or services because they understand not just how valuable they are, but how valuable they are to them. Or even having a brand that works 24/7, building desire and building business while you sleep. These are the dreams realized by so many of my branding and marketing clients and friends, and I want the same for you. You see, I truly believe that by following this advice, you can discover your authentic brand value and you can understand how to best promote it and change the perception that your customers, and more importantly, your potential customers, have of your business. I can say that with quite a bit of confidence because thousands of men and women just like you are taking advantage of the tips, tactics, and techniques that the best companies use to market their businesses. And they're achieving personal and financial freedom through building brand value. And by their own words, they owe much of their success to the new approach I'll cover with you today. But first, I want to make sure that you learn to run from these 3 common lies and myths that we've all learned. You see, there's a ton of bad advice out there when it comes to scaling your business and profits and making money while you sleep. For starters, you may believe that you don't focus enough time or energy perfecting your product or service. That's a myth I call time trolling. And I used to be just as guilty of it as anybody else. You see, the truth is, people don't really care how much time you've invested in your product or business. They only care about buying products that deliver a single, clear, desired outcome that works for them. You can take that to the bank. And once you discard that mistaken belief, you may find that the popular myth that in order to make it big, you must create something unique that no one has ever seen before, this one will also fall by the wayside. Many folks I know bought into this one. However, the truth is pioneers who want to be the first to discover new opportunities are usually the ones who end up with the arrows in their back. Another common myth in the entrepreneur community is really a deal breaker. You may fall victim to the myth of competency. The myth of competency is when you believe that you must offer the best quality, the best product, or the best service on the market, or you won't be successful. As Sting said, the truth for perfection is all very well, but to look for heaven is to live in hell. Because the truth is that people do not buy the most functionally superior products. Remember the Jeeps we talked about earlier? Instead, they buy the products that they develop an emotional relationship with, products that speak to them. Now, how did all this misinformation get around? Some believe it's all thanks to the media and the so-called gurus who never struggled themselves in building a real business, but somehow feel they have the right to tell you what to do. While I lean towards the thinking, though, that the problem lies more with advertising agency account executives and media salespeople who benefit by continuing to sell you yesterday's irrelevant way of doing things. This is what's at the root of it all. But regardless, there's one universal truth when it comes to making products and services more valuable, and it just so happens to be what's truly holding you back. If you want to know what's really stopping you from scaling your business and profits, it's this: the tyranny of the obvious. The tyranny of the obvious is when you've been exposed to too much advertising in your lifetime. And because of this, you think you can produce better ads than that crap you see on TV. You know you've been on the sofa with your loved one, your mother, your father, sister, brother, husband, wife, whoever, and you've said that I can make better stuff than that crap they put on. But when it's time to put your own money where your own mouth is, you'll find that the obvious solutions don't work. And once you've had this bad experience and wasted your money, you're unlikely to ever try it again. You can picture the tyranny of the obvious as the same thing your leg does when the doctor hits your knee with a mallet. It jumps up, whether you want it to or not. But instead of looking at the real reasons your marketing hasn't worked, we all resort to the obvious cliches that you've heard time and time again, ignoring the blaringly obvious truth. The effects of the tyranny of the obvious are very serious and can lead to far worse problems than struggling to build a brand or build a business. For example, it can lead to wasting time and money doing the same things over and over, getting little to no results. And of course, this can be a serious problem for you because you will refuse to shift your strategies in the right direction before it's too late. The tyranny of the obvious can lead to a severe drop-off in business, and that can really cause distress because your revenues also plummet. Now, this may sound bleak, but believe me, there's a solid path to where you want to go. Just keep watching, and I'm going to share with you the early warning signs of the tyranny of the obvious and its triggers. So what are the red flags you should pay attention to? And how can you spot them before this happens again? For starters, you need to pay attention to your desire to continue marketing a company the way it used to be done. When this happens, the tyranny of the obvious is often just around the corner. Fortunately, I have a way around it. I want you to create an all-about-them brand by utilizing the following simple algorithm. CC to CC. We'll get more into this later. But here's another tyranny of the obvious trigger. Too much dependence on techniques that used to work. This one can sneak up on you, but here's how to handle it. First, you need to understand the new realities within which you are doing business, and then you need to change your tactics accordingly and quickly. Now, as helpful as these tips may be, they are not the ultimate solution. In order to convey the impact and power that getting this right can bring into your life, I first need to let you in on the backstory. This is what laid the foundation that led me to discover a permanent solution to tyranny of the obvious, and a path to learn the importance of building brand value that made all the difference in the world. So here's the tip I picked up along the journey that changed my life forever. One of the secrets to my success in making products or services more valuable is leveraging the power of role models. I learned over the years to be very selective, and even more importantly, I learned to spot consistent patterns. You see, it's great when something works for one person or two. That might help you in the short term, but I wanted to see if the ultra-successful people had traits in common by pattern spying. That way I could discount factors like experience, luck, and natural gifts. One of my favorite brand value success patterns is the story of Madonna's success. Let me share why and see if you can spot the pattern that I did that led to this great success. You see, she understood that while her audience was originally attracted to her music and her dancing skills, she realized that there would always be someone else coming along who had equally or even superior skills and could eat into her market share and steal her fan base. But one day things started to turn around with her Material Girl album, the movie, and her persona. Madonna realized that her brand could be represented not only by what she did on stage, but by a sense of perpetual change. Her music, her fashions, even her attitude. This positioned her in the sweet spot of her audience's aspirational desires as they were striving, changing, and developing their own lives too. Thanks to this brilliant insight into her audience's desires, Madonna developed an enviable career that outlived most of her contemporaries and even the stars who did come along in her stead. Now, what do you think was behind this success? And how can you replicate it and use it for your advantage? You hear stories like that of Madonna, and you may be tempted to think to yourself, yeah, but come on, folks like that are smarter or luckier, or she was Madonna. But is that true? Not at all. Yet the fact of the matter is that internet technology has made it possible for even small companies to have as big a reach as they can handle. Actually, a huge international reach in many cases. By properly constructing an all-about-them brand, you can create brand evangelists within your customer base and have them promote your business for you. So even if you're thinking to yourself, yeah, but sure, that sounds aspiring, but I'd need to have greater budgets and resources to pull this off. Understand, I used to think the same thing. But in all reality, the key to success is not being smarter or even luckier. It's knowing the proper strategies that the biggest and most successful companies use. It proves how reorienting your brand and your marketing can help you make your own luck. Another myth I hear is that a lot of successful entrepreneurs seem to have superior skills and talents. It sounds reasonable, but it's a myth, and it may be the one holding you back from a solution that actually works, one that starts with having a blueprint that will give you the upper hand in building your brand like a pro. You're better than you were yesterday. You're not as good as you'll be tomorrow. So what are you waiting for? Well, before I give you access to my blueprint, let me tell you how, after this long journey filled with trials and errors, I discovered what actually works. In my research, I thought to myself, why are these folks succeeding when others are not? So I made the study bigger. I studied all the new members of the NASDAQ. And believe it or not, there was a trait they all shared in common. Quite simply, they all focus their marketing on their customers, not their businesses. Now, I know that may sound simple, even obvious, but it's not. Let me explain. I noticed that the most successful entrepreneurs were doing this consistently, day in, day out, like clockwork. At first, this slipped by me. To be honest, I used to think I was a pretty savvy entrepreneur and a good marketer until I started role modeling other folks who had this technique down. Once I did, I never looked back. Because within a short time, after mapping out my own strategy and getting into action, my entire outlook on making products and services more valuable changed. And the success I had once struggled to find found me. This experience left me with this one powerful truth. If you truly wish to succeed, you must leverage what I call an all-about-them brand style. In order to prove my blueprint could be applied to any business and that these laws of branding were real, I needed to share the concept of all about them with a small group of my customers and colleagues. And because I spoke at universities on this technique, I was able to talk to the academics as well. The consensus was that everybody was doing it wrong, but when they changed a few minor things and adhered to the all about them strategy, they felt like they hit the jackpot. All it took was starting to use this approach. Then they understand why building brand value the right way is the significant key to success. And it was the missing link in their marketing plan. So what's it all about? All about them branding is about understanding how and why to shift your brand from a company-centric one to a brand that is compellingly consumer-centric. Company-centric to consumer-centric. CC to CC, the algorithm I promised you. But let me unpack that a little bit further for you. I want you to imagine all about them branding like Pat Morita's character in the movie Karate Kid. While the young man wanted to learn how to punch, how to hit, and how to kick, because remember he was being bullied, his teacher redirected his energies into cleaning his car. Wax on, wax off, you remember. Little did anyone realize that what the old man was doing was teaching his pupil the fundamentals needed in the ring of battle. Likewise, understanding the counterintuitive methods of building brand value are necessary in order to assure a powerfully compelling and successful brand strategy. While I'm not going to put you to work painting my fence or waxing my car, I want to share 2 quick tips about how you can start reorienting your business with my All About Them branding strategy. Here's the first tip. You need to create a memorable company messaging strategy. Secondly, you need to establish the right social media presence to promote that strategy. But then what do? You see, these tips, as solid as they are just not enough to really get entrepreneurs learning the importance of building brand value and getting paid well for all the blood, sweat, tears, and years that you put into your business. Let me share how I came up with what many an entrepreneur calls the definite system for maximizing their brand. And on top of that, it's the blueprint that just about every entrepreneur, just like you, who has tried, has found iconic, remarkable, gripping, and gets them results. I want to introduce you to my new training course and membership called Brand Billions that is designed to fast-track your ability to apply the All About Them branding blueprint in a way that's as fun as it is effective. Here's what you can look forward to experiencing as a Brand Billions member. First, you can get instant feedback and get all of your questions answered on our weekly members-only calls. Consider these calls high-end coaching without the high-end price. You'll get the same advice that my 6- and 7-figure clients get in working with me one-on-one. You'll get access to my All About Them branding course that's delivered in 6 modules that detail the steps you need to take in a way that's not overwhelming and a way that you can use to apply for results starting day 1. You'll get to interact with a community of highly motivated, passionate entrepreneurs just like you who are driven to build a real, powerful, profitable lifestyle brand. This networking opportunity is priceless and can result in some very big ideas. And there's much more. So I'm sure you're wondering if Brand Billions can work for you, even if you think you've tried just about everything when it comes to making more money in your business. Well, let me set you at ease. During the years that I spent looking for the truth, years studying the most successful entrepreneurs and businesses as case studies, years spent honing, testing, retesting, and perfecting Brand Billions to make sure it was flexible and powerful, I hit pay dirt. By standing on the shoulders of giants, and let's face it, thanks to some of my own unique insights, you now have at your fingertips what hundreds of entrepreneurs and major brands hail as the best system they've ever come across when it comes to working against all odds to build their brand value. Brand Billions can work for you when virtually nothing else will. And it works so consistently for other entrepreneurs just like you, it's considered by many to be success insurance when it comes to recognizing what building your brand correctly means to achieving success. In a moment, you'll meet just a few of the success stories of my clients. But just know this for now. Brand Billions really is a blueprint for growing your brand and can work for literally anyone. Even if you've never taken a college-level business or marketing course, even if you're not as well-funded as your competition, and get this, even if you don't have a pro-level team to help you develop your vision, Brand Billions can still deliver results that can help you change the perception that your customers and potential customers have of your business while discovering authentic brand value and giving you the understanding of how to best promote it at the same time. That means measurable results you can count on. So what can you expect in the way of results, and how fast can you expect to see them? Within the first week, you'll get clarity on what key areas are in need of reorientation and exactly how to begin fixing what's broken. Within the first month, you'll have mapped out your exponential growth strategy and have all the tools at your disposal to transform your business into a world-class brand. And it just keeps getting better. Because as you continue to grow with us, you'll begin to see potential hazards before you step into them, in turn saving your business from potentially disastrous results. This is crucial for newer brands in hyper-growth mode, and even more important for those who are building up to a strategic exit from their business, the big payday we all hope for. Making the decision to take action today will let you inside the inner circle of the most successful brands. It will empower you to build a business that finally works for you, even while you sleep. It will deliver you a way to cash out when the time is right at the highest value possible. It will powerfully guide you into better strategic partnerships and influential relationships. It'll quickly decode the best way for you to become a world-class brand and lifestyle business. And please just don't take my word for it. You can join the ranks of industry leaders like American Express, Miami, Discovery Networks, Puerto Rico, Bacardi, and many more who all use my systems for building brand value. All of this is backed by my industry-leading results or else guarantee. Look, the truth is simple. I refuse to take a penny from you unless I can really help you learn the importance of building brand value and show you exactly how to do it. It's only fair to you that Brand Billions not only meets the promises I've made, I insist it exceeds your every expectation. That's why I'm offering you a full 90 days to apply my brand building strategies to your business with zero risk. If you don't see results in your business, customer retention, or perceived value, simply request a refund and I'll return every single cent. It really doesn't get better than that, except for this. I want to give you another $5,289 in bonuses just for taking action today. When you see the discounted price I'm offering you today for Brand Billions, you might think it's a typo. Yet that wasn't enough. I still wasn't satisfied. I knew I could do better. I wanted to go way beyond the extra mile and give you a private strategy session call with my team valued over $2,000 just for taking action before this offer expires. First, I'd like you to have my brand building blueprint that will keep you on track throughout your journey. This has a retail value of $997, but it's yours free by taking action now. Next, you'll receive complimentary access to our elite Brand Billions networking community valued at $297, but yours free today. Finally, I insist on giving you my $3,995 super bonus absolutely free. It's called the Brand Billions Ultimate Swipe File. And wait till you check this out. You'll get access to my entire library of critiques and case studies where I go through the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of brand builders and brand blunders. They say experience is the best teacher. The good thing is that with this resource at your fingertips, you can benefit from the powerful lessons, both good and bad, that make companies billions and caused others to go bankrupt. Just these bonuses alone have an off-the-shelf retail value of $7,289 when put together. Yet you'll never pay a penny for them if you decide to act today, before I decide to act to remove them from the Brand Billions members area. It's an absolute steal for just $7,298. Believe me, if I decide to sell Brand Billions for what it's truly worth, the $7,298 list price, you'd walk away with an absolutely stellar bargain, since my private clients pay upwards of $100,000 to work with me. If you factor in the course, valued at $5,000, you'd be looking at $12,298. And you know what? When you consider the time-saving benefits, plus the fact that there's not another system like this on the planet, even that price is like giving you a gift. Still, I decided I could do you one better today. Much better. By taking action and joining right now, today, you'll receive Brand Billions complete with all those juicy bonuses for the unheard of price of just $297 a month. Let me say that again. You'll receive Brand Billions complete with all of these bonuses for just $297 a month. That's a savings to you of $12,000 slashed right off the retail price. All you have to do is click the button below to get instant access. To be frank, it took a lot of hard work, trial and error, and very painful lessons learned. But that's heavy lifting that you do not need to do for yourself. I've already done it. What you need to do is act. That's the one thing I can't do for you. I wish I could, but only you have that ability. Only you have that right. And it is a right. It's your right to choose. You can choose to continue on the path you're taking now. It's one filled with months, years, even decades of heartache and back-breaking labor, of reinventing the wheel, of losing ground, getting forward, stepping back, but ultimately losing time. Think about it. How much is your time worth to you? If I could save you even a day of time in your pursuit to learn how to build brand value, wouldn't that day be worth $297? Of course it would. How precious are your moments, after all? How many you think you're getting back? That's why I'm more than confident you'll take the only smart path you can take today. You'll decide to give Brand Billions a fair shot for that 90-day window I've promised you. The last thing I'll leave you with is the importance of living without regrets. You see, the absolute worst that can happen is that you get your entire investment back. However, if you fail to act, you may never realize your dream. Continue on the path you're on now, or perhaps worse. You could waste far more money and time than this split-second yes decision today will cost you. And I'm afraid to say it, you may live to regret that. But I truly desire so much more for you than that. Will you let me save you far more than a day's worth of your valuable time? Will you let me coach you to seeing the results you know you deserve? Will you take the action right now that's really the only decision possible if you want to change the course of your destiny? Don't miss out on this one. Simply say yes, and let me prove this system can work for you too. All you have to do is click the button below to take your rightful place in our elite, exclusive, members-only area. I look forward to seeing you on the inside.